Kia ora. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Select Committee for your time today too. I'm speaking today in my capacity as a school counsellor. My professional affiliation is the NZAC and I'm a parent of 2 adult children. I'm first of all for protecting against involuntary, inhumane or abusive treatment and interventions. However, I feel we need to differentiate between feelings which are all normal and okay, and abuse which is an action, whether that be verbal, physical or psychological. A parent may have strong feelings of anger, disappointment or grief about their child's gender dysphoria without us assuming that those feelings will be communicated in a hostile, harmful or abusive way. So I'm concerned that the proposed bill suppresses the thoughts and feelings of parents and shuts down conversations around values and beliefs, especially for parents, but also for people of faith backgrounds. I think it's often overlooked that everyone lives by a set of values and beliefs, both religious and non-religious. And it seems that we're at risk of a gross breach of human rights if only certain sectors of society are able to speak their truth or have certain conversations while other conversations are muzzled by the fear evoked by the threat of criminalisation. I'm particularly concerned about the threat to the parent-child relationship. On the one hand, I see a bill encouraging open and transparent communication, but at the same time, it doesn't seem to allow for parents to caution, dissuade or guide their children, or even to articulate their own values and beliefs. And I think this could result in conversations around gender becoming taboo or the elephant in the room because family members are constrained by fear. So rather than threaten with criminalisation, I think a better option would be to give parents and young people tools to navigate respectful and open conversations. In my 30 years of working with people, I've met very few parents who have not had their children's best interests at heart. And I think we're at risk of diminishing the very role of caring parents, which is to guide and to speak into their children's lives and to help them make well-informed decisions. I'm also concerned about the inconsistencies of the bill. On the one hand, it seems to want to protect a young person, acknowledging their vulnerabilities associated with their age and stage of development, yet at the same time suggests that they do have the cognitive capacity to make big choices on things like hormone blockers and chest binders and so on, with parents and professionals prohibited from making comment. Part of good decision-making is learning to push pause, consider consequences, and seek counsel from trusted adults. Neuroscience teaches us that young people under 18 have limited access to the rational reasoning part of the brain, and so biologically, their ability to assess risk and consider consequences during this adolescent period is significantly reduced. I'm also concerned about the rights of young people who are seeking support for what they see to be unwanted same-sex attraction, gender dysmorphia, or maybe a young person who's just choosing to align themselves with their parents' values or their religious institution. I feel we have to protect the rights of that young person or any young person who wants to seek access to prayer support or mentoring or religious counsel if they seek it. How can we, on one hand, suggest that a young person fully knows what they want in this area of their life, and then effectively shut down a young person who wants to address something that may be unwanted in their life? Fear of criminalisation for parents and working professionals who are working painstakingly hard to support the well-being of young people seems an unnecessarily and fruitless intervention. I feel it's like taking the reins off a toddler on a busy highway and encouraging them to cross safely. These heavy-handed, fear-based interventions simply prioritise the rights of some while breaching the rights of others. So as a professional counsellor, I navigate all kinds of transitions and developmental territory with young people, and part of that navigation is being able to ask questions that facilitate conversations and help them to develop a clearer future picture for themselves. And I would hate to have that counselling experience diminished by the fear of not being able to ask certain questions, for fear that they could be construed as being coercive or harmful. I mean, the bottom line of counselling is do no harm. And so today, as a parent and also as a professional counsellor, my plea to you is to please not make an already hard and complex job even harder by legislation that's not necessary and it's not helpful for the good work that we're actually trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Cherie. We have a question from Louisa Wall.
Kia ora, Cherie. Thank you for your submission. As a practicing counsellor, so in your experience, why are young people, I guess, traumatised by the fact that they may be gay or a member of the LGBT community? Why do they struggle so much with accepting that's who they are?
Well, I'm not sure that they are traumatised. I mean, I think that we've cast a whole net of uncertainty. Adolescence is already a massive, stage of development that people are trying to navigate all sorts of different things. And what we've kind of done is we've thrown into the mix another huge question that, in my generation it was never even in the mix of, am I this or am I that, or could I be this or that or that? And so from my experience, I see a lot of young people who are very confused, who are floundering, who have a question that's just brought into their frame of reference that somehow now they've got to try and figure this thing out. And whether they're traumatized by that, I'm not sure.
I guess my point is why wanted. Why can't people just say, why is it an unwanted identity? I don't think it's traumatic at all. I think young people saying I'm gay is not a bad thing. It's a good thing if that's them expressing themselves in the environment that we need to create is acceptance.
Well, maybe it doesn't fit with their values or their beliefs, or it's something that they're not wanting to have in their life and they're wanting to change. I mean, my job as a counsellor is to sit with and be person-centred and to find out from that young person where is it that they want to go, what is it they want to achieve, and to be able to work with that. My concern is that if I had a young person, or if a young person wanted to go and seek out a spiritual mentor, or to ask a minister to pray for them because they had, from their perspective, some sort of burden around a behaviour, or they were troubled by unwanted feelings, that's in their words, can they have access to that same kind of service? And would that minister or that counsellor be at risk if they were then to pray for them, which is just what they've asked for, or engage in that conversation? And I think that's the thing that's not covered off in this bill.